Hey everybody, I thought it would be absolutely fascinating to interview a range of people on self-driving cars. I'm curious to see if people would use the technology, first of all, and if they have any fears, any doubts about the technology. What is the general perception out there about self-driving cars? I was curious, and I'm sure a lot of you are curious. These people that I interviewed, I've never met before in my entire life, with the exception of one person, my neighbor. But he had no idea what questions I'd be asking him. And to be honest, he doesn't even know that I have a self-driving car. So join me. If your car could drive itself, would you trust it?
I think I would. I think with the technology where we're at, it sounds like with AI and everything that's going on, I would trust it. I know even with non self driving cars like the GMCs or like the Tahoes, you get the lane, the motion sensors, and I think just where technology is, I would feel safe with a car driving itself. And obviously, I wouldn't be like napping or doing anything like that. But yeah,
If you had a car that could drive itself, would you actually allow it to drive you around?
I would not.
Okay. Is there a reason for that?
Um, my chief concern would be the privacy issues. I wouldn't feel comfortable with my phone connected to cell towers at all. But if the self-driving car could run locally without connecting to cell towers and run purely off of GPS, I'd be more open to it.
If your car could drive itself, would you trust it?
So I drove a Tesla a while ago, and like the self-driving was alright. However, I still crashed it, even though it was self-driving. But I think that was just a personal mistake. And I like the self-driving, but I still wouldn't trust it as enough as a human's ability to tell where danger is around. Because I don't think cars are still a little bit far off from doing that today.
We have never met before. We met literally 5 minutes ago.
Right. So I know nothing about you, or almost nothing about you, and certainly nothing about your opinions or your experience with self-driving cars. But I'm very curious to learn, if you had a self-driving car, would you allow it to drive you around?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. And
Yeah.
why is that?
So I think for me, I discovered autonomous cars literally 2 months ago. In Europe, where I live in Switzerland and in France, it's really not common. And I moved to San Francisco 2 months ago, and it's the first thing I did when I arrived here. Literally, I got out of the airport and I tried a Waymo, and I thought it was amazing. Like, some people were asking me, like, how come you feel safe? How come you don't stress? I cannot explain that, but I felt very safe. It just feels like it's driving better than if anyone else would be driving it. So yeah, I would use it 100%. Yeah.
If your car could drive itself, would you trust it? Would you allow it to drive itself?
Um, no, not particularly.
Okay.
I don't think that I wouldn't feel comfortable having a car drive like entirely by itself without me having any control in it. If the steering wheel was there, it would be okay to feel it out, but I don't think that it'd be something I'd be comfortable with.
So you like driving manually? Are you more of like a racing, you like to race and
I
that
do, yes.
acceleration and
Yes.
everything?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I'm building a drift car and everything, so
Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
I do. I have a manual car and everything. I've driven Teslas before too that have the autonomous driving, and it just doesn't feel that comfortable. Like putting your life into a program that doesn't have the distinction or the reaction of like humans do. Like, for example, something might come across the road and the computer might not pick it up, but as like a human eye, you might be able to pick it up and you could slam on the brake and steer the wheel somewhere else versus autonomous driving may not pick that up and you could crash into that thing.
Are you aware of any vehicles that can drive themselves today?
Yeah, a couple of people I know have Teslas, and we rode in the self-driving Teslas, and it's honestly been really nice.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Who, in your opinion, would be the best use case as far as maybe people with mobility issues, maybe more younger people that are more flexible to adapt to the technology, or maybe elderly generations? What's the best demographic do you feel for self-driving cars?
Yes, I think definitely people with mobility issues. And another use case I see is self-driving taxis. So kind of serving commuters.
Is there anything holding you back from getting one of them today?
I think right now it'd just be more in-depth looking. And honestly, now that you say that, where I'm working, I have a company car, but they're actually looking into going into electric cars, self-driving. So I'm kind of excited for that. But
Cool.
yeah, I don't think anything it's holding back other than the fact that it's just like I'm not shopping for a car right now.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, I think when the time does come when we would get our personal car, they definitely would be on the list.
If you were using it on, let's say, a daily basis, what would what would your biggest use case be? Would it be for getting from point A to point B for errands, work, or what would be the main reason?
Probably for work, but like,
Okay.
yeah, each time I want to move from point A to point B and I don't want to take the public transportation, I would take it.
How about for senior citizens, if they maybe have a problem seeing, do you feel like the self-driving tech would be more applicable to that demographic?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it could benefit people that are older, people that may not be capable of driving anymore. I still think that technology would have to advance a little bit farther or have to be a little bit more trustworthy for it to be kind of just spread. Because if that person's already incapable of driving and piloting its own vehicle, if the technology is not completely there and the autonomous vehicle, again, doesn't pick something up, it could end in harm. And of course, nobody wants that.
When it comes to the self-driving cars and the fact that I've seen people, you see TikToks, people playing Connect 4, or you've seen people napping. I think that's where the restrictions need to get better. I don't know how you would detect that or what you would do, but if you're at the point where these cars can't drive themselves, what's not to say there's technology that would prevent that from happening? Because I'd be honest, I feel like with the self-driving car, I'd be more prone to being on my phone texting more, or I'd be like, oh, it's the road safety I think would go down in my mind, because I'd be like, oh, I can do this and this because I feel safe with how cars have come. So,
Sure,
but
sure.
yeah, no, I definitely see the pros and cons to it.
When do you think self-driving will be possible for the general public?
I wouldn't know the time frame, but I would give it a good. We're close. We're for sure close. I would say about five more years. I say 2030. 2030.
Okay. How far away do you think we are from having fully autonomous, where you can sit in the back seat?
Ooh, I think that the way that technology is rapidly advancing and AI in itself, probably within the next, I would say 5 years is very, very reasonable. I wouldn't be surprised if it was sooner than that.
How far away do you feel we are for fully autonomous, unsupervised rides anywhere? I know you're in a special city, in a special location. It's
Yeah,
already happening.
that's what I was gonna ask about, like in Europe or in SF, because the answer is very different. I think in SF, to be honest, I think we're pretty close. Like they're already everywhere. Everyone is using it. Everyone feels comfortable with using it. So I think that we're not that far. In Europe, to be honest, right now it's not gonna happen in the next years, I think. We're a bit late compared to you guys.
What do you think is the biggest barrier to entry for self-driving cars?
I think by far it would have to be a lack of trust.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, you're riding around in a a 5,000 pound metal box, and a lot of times you're going upwards of 70, 80 miles per hour. And I know for sure a lot of people feel uneasy about putting that control in the hands of software.
And you said you were inside of a Tesla that was driving itself?
I was, but it wasn't. The reason why I crashed wasn't because it was in self-drive.
Oh, okay.
I won't put it on that, but I would use the method, the self-driving, and it was pretty good. Just that sometimes it would go straight, and then there was a car, so I would actually have to maneuver it. So it wasn't really beneficial for to go from point A to point B without touching the wheel.
How safe on a scale of 1 to 10 do you feel self-driving cars are today?
Today, I would say a solid like a 6, 7. Um,
6, 7.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fair.
somewhere
Okay.
somewhere around there. I won't
All
say it's
right.
like 100%, but I would say it's improved dramatically from the last couple of years.
In your opinion, when it comes to safety versus productivity versus convenience, if there was one thing that attracted you the most to self-driving vehicles, what would it be?
That's a good question. I think so. I think there's two things for me. Of course, the first one is safety, but like at the end, there are like other people around you that can still cause an accident or stuff like that. So I don't think that it's like if everyone has an autonomous cars, it starts to be interesting in that level. But like if I'm the only one having it, I don't think it's like the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing is just being able to do whatever during that time where you're not really driving and you're just losing time. You can actually make use of this time efficiently, and I think that's the most like thing, like the best thing um, on my
Sure.
perspective.
So
Yeah,
productivity would be the big one for you.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes a lot. That's same for me. You can
yeah.
work on that spreadsheet, send a bunch of emails, reply to people. Yeah, definitely. When you think self-driving, do you think of a particular company? Does a company come to mind first?
So honestly, the first two that I look into would be Tesla, and then I think Rivian, because Rivian has like they both have the SUV, but more that Rivian has that more like the Tahoe Suburban looking SUV. So
Right.
just from like uh, a physical appeal, like that's what I like. But I do like the futuristic look of the Tesla, so that's kind of where I would be at those two right now.
In your opinion, how much does a self-driving car cost?
I would assume at least 40,000 dollars.
Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty accurate, actually. Yep. You can get a used Tesla, for example, that has the self-driving. Today it is supervised, so it's not completely autonomous. But there are certain ride-sharing services that are leveraging self-driving cars like Waymo, and you have
Yep.
Zoox now from Amazon, and obviously Tesla in Austin and in San Francisco Bay Area. If you had to guess on the cost of a self-driving vehicle today, what would you think that cost would be?
I have no idea. Do I have to take into account all the development research and stuff like that, or
No, just if you wanted to go
okay,
out
just
and
building it,
buy, yeah, if you
the
wanted to buy
manufacturing?
a self-driving car.
Okay, I have no idea, but I would say like similar to the price of a Tesla. So maybe like um 60 or 70K, maybe. I don't know.
If there was one thing that would hold you back from getting a self-driving car, what would it be?
I think just grew. I mean, it's more of a personal reason because I grew up with vehicles. I enjoy driving. I like cruising. I like the feeling of the wheel. I like being in control of the machine I'm operating.
Sure.
That's the biggest reason.
Got it. Okay.
Even like whenever I go into like a bus or something and there's someone driving it, I'm still like kind of on edge, looking around. Like, okay, my life is in this person's hands, and I trust that, of course, because I still get on a bus. But as far as like me trusting a software that I know nothing about, like I can't look at the software and understand what's going on. So it would take me a bit, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Do you feel that if the regulations allowed for self-driving vehicles in your city and all of your friends started doing it, would you feel still that privacy issue would be the main barrier, or would you be willing to try it out?
If the people around me started using it and it became widely adopted, I think I would definitely begin to trust it more from a safety perspective and a privacy perspective.
Do you feel like your parents would be open to owning or using a self-driving car?
I think my parents being in their 50s and 60s, I don't think they would be very open to self-driving cars purely because of the safety reasons.
Okay, last question. If your parents had the opportunity to jump into a self-driving car, would they do it?
They would definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Um, I think my dad is very tech savvy, so he would definitely. And my mom is not, but she's really into safety. And I think she will, yeah, she will trust it for sure.
So there you have it. 2 people were trusting of the technology and very open and embracing, whereas 60%, 3 out of 5 people were not trusting and didn't want to use the technology. I think generally speaking, that's what you're going to find. That's how the ratios will play out if you interview, let's say, 1,000 people. I'm very curious what you find in your area. Ask people about it. See what they think about it. Would they use a self-driving car? Do they think the technology is ready? And if not, when do they think it will be ready? Thanks for watching, and until the next one, have a great day.